What makes me a good Demoman? If I were a bad Demoman, I wouldn't be playing Fallout 4, now would I? Of course not, which is why I'm asking myself, can you beat Fallout 4 as Demoman from Team Fortress 2? This looks pretty good for demo, well, except for the hair. I wasn't sure what to make it because we don't actually have a cosmetic that removes Demo's cap. But it won't matter in due time. Anyway, I drank the scrumpy and woke up in the vaults, and I'm immediately bombarded with telling the US government about myself. Alright, 5 in strength and perception for heavy gunner and explosive expert. Also, if you think putting 5 in perception for demo is too high, well, the max is 10, and half of that is 5, and demo only has 1 eye, so this is about as accurate as it gets, I think. Much like the last 2 classes, there's nothing I can use to fight the roaches, so I have to use the doors and wait around like there's a critical scouts on the other side. Alright, so we need to find Ironsides and do his quest for the Broadsider. Trust me, this only goes wrong 3 different times, but I'm writing this after the fact, so that means I can't remember certain events properly, so it probably went wrong more than that. You could say that I could just skim through the footage to make sure, and I did that. So doing that, let's start. I talked to Mr. Lookout and talked to one of NG's toys, then talked to Bosun, and thanks to my higher intellect, I used the funny Fallout New Vegas perk to do a funny thing that I still have no idea what I'm able to skip with it, then use my higher intellect to repair some power coils. Then I watched some fighting go down while I realized that I can't help, so I went into the scrapper's base and pulled a red spy. And this is where things get a little odd. The quest didn't update properly, so I'd use the set stage command to set Ironsides on the path to getting me my weapon. So he set me on the path to get something that I can't pause the clip at the right time to see because I have no sense of filmmaking. After that, I got to see a cool battle go down against some cool dudes, and I just realized that this is actually just man versus machine. Whatever, let's ignore that for the sake of me already recording this and thinking of it as I'm scripting it. Whatever, Ironsides had a meltdown and eventually gave me the loose cannon. And then I decided to be on the ship when it took off, and predictably the game crashed. Twice. And I had to use God mode to survive getting down. Anyway, I got to Herbis Comics, and I was genuinely surprised by the fact that I only needed a single point in the lockpicking perk to unlock the display case holding the Scotsman Skullcutter. And after that, I ran into some scavengers, and one had some cage armor. Putting it on, it kinda reminded me of Demo's, demo jacket? I don't know. But I decided to keep it because every run up until this point gave me no armor protection, so I'm more than willing to make what I can find work at this point. Anyway, I made my way to Diamond City to try and find some cannonballs, and they were being sold by Arturo for only 23 caps. Not bad at all. I also got a grey knitted cap. Okay, so to save Mr. Roboman, I'm going to need to upgrade the loose cannon for those sweet double donking montage clips. So I went around looking for Good Neighbor and never ended up finding it. I don't know why, but sometimes I randomly run into it and other times I know where I'm going, but times like these you learn to live again through the horrors of Bethesda graphics. And now we're ready to fight the Wall Street Sewermen, and I almost completely ran out of ammo in the first room. I don't know why this always happens. If I manage to have enough ammo, I almost always use half of it in the first room. But because I'm a true gamer, I ran back to Diamond City to try and get some more ammo because I don't like using melee weapons in Fallout games. Anyway, getting back into the stock market crash of 1982, all the members of r/band video games were no match for the power of Team Fortress 2. And then I had to make another trip to Diamond City because I have no sense of conserving ammo, I'd say, as the next clip shows me using the Scotsman Skullcutter. Speaking of the Scotsman Skullcutter, I used the Scotsman Skullcutter to cut the skulls of the Triggerman as a Scotsman with the Scotsman Skullcutter. Time to do Nick's interview, bribe some people, see where the Ghost Wizard Maggot went, and go after him. God, I've done this so many times I know exactly where to put the marker and just go straight there, then wait for dog meat. Fort Hagen wasn't particularly difficult, not really at all. Kellogg goes down in 2 hits and everything else goes down in 1. Then we get to see the Brotherhood show up because this is a Fallout game. Anyway, I talked to the doctor about repairing my eye, but she told me that would be a worse fate than siding with the Institute, which is why I'm siding with the Brotherhood. Maybe. I'm writing this because I didn't do anything that set me on the path of siding with a particular faction, but I'm assuming I'll side with the Brotherhood because I don't think Demo would side with the Institute. I don't like the Miniman questline, and I've never done the Railroad questline before, and I don't feel like it would be a fun disaster to do it for the first time while I'm also doing a challenge. Anyway, I went to go see Virgil and absolutely destroyed the Deathclaw along the way. Look who's the storm now. Then I took out the Courser and went to the Memory Den because I keep on forgetting that Dr. Amari doesn't give you the marker to the Old North Church. So, that sucks. God, I'm starting to hate this fucking game. Anyway, I got to the Railroad and instantly wiped them out because I have the firepower to do so for once. So I guess I'm not siding with the Railroad. Exiting, I remembered that Valve added a feature that lets players play the game in third person. Yeah, never again. Then I decoded the chip and debated whether or not I should side with the Minutemen or the Brotherhood, and fighting a Deathclaw sounds funner than fighting a bunch of synths, so I decided to save the Minutemen. Also, building resistances, something Scottish resistance, something Jacobites. Okay, yeah, I think that's enough. Okay, so going to Sanctuary, Preston wanted me to help some settlements, and they wanted me to kill some Raider. I'm actually strangely proud of how I got this kill. Anyway, I talked to Sturgis to do the Sanctuary quest, built some beds, put a point into intelligence, and made some water. Then I went to Diamond City to find some food, and got rudely interrupted when trying to buy some potatoes. Then I realized the settlement I helped earlier had some food I can take, so I went there and took all their food. And then turned in all the stuff for the Sanctuary quest, then built a sentry. Now, before you say something about this is breaking Rule 1, every class can build buildings if they have a PDA equipped. Engineer just happens to be the only one naturally. 2, I doubt the sentry will actually attack anything. Anyway, I helped Sturgis, so he'll help me when Preston lets him. And immediately after that, he let me build the teleporter. So I decided to go to Australia. If anyone can figure out how that joke works out in the comments, I'll give them a heart icon. Here's a hint. It works out really stupidly, and I'm actively debating whether or not I should actually put this in the video or not. Also, yes, it at least loosely has to do with TF2. Anyway, I'm working with the Institute for now, as I'll need the XP. Don't worry, I'll kill Father when the time comes. For now, let's just meet the Pauline crew and see what Father has in store. Walking to Libertalia, and of course the enemy Demoman has to use the goddamn Iron Bomber. I say that as if they hadn't fixed the collision checks months ago. Anyway, I got the synth back and headed to Bunker Hill and let the synths go. As I'm recording that line, that doesn't sound right, but it's what's in the script, so I'm going with that. Anyway, I got an absolute wicked nasty shot of me killing Greyman. Check this out. After that, the Institute told me they were going to kill me. Nuh-uh. After that, I set up one last settlement before going to DeGroot Keep, and absolutely destroying the Mirelurk Queen. Set up the radio, and went to Abernathy Farm to have a, conversation.
There's nothing worse than...
And decided to deal with Sarge while I was sure I had the ammo. Anyway, I was sent up to Somerville Place to deal with some raiders while I wait for the announcer to show up. Once she did, we saw the corpse of Sarge and we got into the armory and built the artillery. Now, in general, using weapons that aren't allowed in the challenge are fine, provided it deals no damage. So I was ready with a quick save in the event I got XP, which was my tell to see if I dealt any damage to any enemies, which never happened. After that, Preston told me about how I'm now headed to the castle. Okay, that would be pretty funny if someone made a King of the Hill map that was just the castle. Wait, no, this is just medieval mode plus MVM. Anyway, I need to build a bunch of defense to proceed. So I built a bunch of sentries and destroyed them to make sure they didn't kill anything. I'm not sure why I didn't do this in Sanctuary, but I also won't be going there for the rest of the playthrough, so it doesn't matter. Now we need to defend the castle. This was really difficult. Like, I didn't die, but I did use all my heals and ammo. And this was after buying heals and ammo, as well as looting what I could off the coursers. But we did it, and now, finally, it's time for the final mission. Now, I don't remember the last time I did this mission, but surprisingly I didn't get lost, except for the beginning where I missed the gate opening, but I made it into the Institute. Anyway, getting Preston in here, I turned in my quest for some random settlement because priorities, Actually, that makes sense considering the TF team. Anyway, I basically exclusively used my hacks except for only the strongest of enemies. I didn't execute the evac notice because I think it's funny, but dear god, why does this section have to get so goddamn laggy? I feel like the game is ready to crash during this section, and this is a consistent issue too. This was happening on the soldier playthrough. Whatever, I made a mad dash to the nuclear reactor and attached to the bomb. Reverse MVM, bitch. Anyway, Preston got mad at me for not issuing the evac order, but I don't care, because I beat Fallout 4 as Demoman from Team Fortress 2. Wow, this took surprisingly long. Yeah, my PC breaking down in February, I think, just really killed my motivation to work on this video, and I ended up taking some time to work on some other stuff, but I am back in the swing of things, although I wouldn't expect the next challenge video to be Fallout 4's heavy. I had some ideas for some other games that I want to work on, and I'm starting to get sick of Fallout 4 in general, but there will be more varied challenge videos to come for sure. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone.